Avatar: Fire and Ash is once again directed by James Cameron, and it once again stars Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana. And in the third Avatar movie, in the wake of a devastating war against the RDA, Jake Sully and Neytiri face a new threat on Pandora, the Ash people, a violent and power-hungry Na'vi tribe led by the ruthless Varang. Now, I have said many times in the past that I am not a fan of the Avatar movies. I think the first one is bad and boring. I think the second one is mid and boring, as well as basically being a rehash of the first film. So I think it's fair to say I was more excited for the Avengers Doomsday trailer than this movie, which, by the way, I am wanting to make a video on that trailer, but I'm going to wait and see if other trailers come out with Avatar: Fire and Ash over the next few weeks, and if they do, I'll make a video on all of them when the time comes. So yeah, I wasn't excited for this movie, and I was expecting to say the same things as I said about the previous two movies. So believe me, I am so surprised and shocked to tell you all that I genuinely had a good time with this movie. I can't believe it. James Cameron actually put more effort into the script this time, as well as the special effects. And right away, I'm just going to give away my obvious positives with the movie. It looks beautiful, of course it does. The music sounds great. However, one technical aspect I didn't like, and it was so weird, and I know it wasn't in my screening: the frame rate. James Cameron really likes his 48 FPS, and I don't know why, because I don't personally like it. It looks too smooth, too HD. It just looks too real. You know what I mean? I like a nice, crisp 24 FPS movie. It just works well for me because I've gotten so used to it. So when I'm seeing one shot being 24 FPS, and then the very next shot is like 48, and it's so smooth and quick, it's just really distracting. But that's really my only issue with the technical aspects. The story, on the other hand, while I do have some issues, which I'll get into in a bit, I did really enjoy this time. There's actually characters to like, and character arcs that are satisfying and that you care about. Psh, what? What is this sorcery? Of course, there are still some really boring characters. I've never liked Jake Sully as the protagonist in these movies. And no offense to the guy, I'm pretty sure he's a lovely guy in real life, and I know he can be a really good actor, but I've never liked Sam Worthington in these movies. I think he's dry, he's dull, he doesn't have any chemistry with Zoe Saldana, who is always acting her arse off in these movies. And then you've still got the boring military villains who are just stereotypes at this point, and Quadrich, or Quaritch, whatever his name is still not a compelling character, no matter how much they try and add something to him. He's just always been really dull for me and never really a threat. So the movie does still have some narrative issues, but when it works, I think it worked brilliantly. I especially love the brand new villain right behind me. They introduced the Ash in this series, which are basically Pandora's satanic cult, and I thought they were really threatening. I really like villains that are just so psychotic for no real reason. We do get little inklings of backstory for her, but nothing clear as day. And I just thought that really worked. Just give me a real psychopath as a villain sometimes. It works just as well if you make them threatening. And I do think this movie does a good job of expanding the world of Pandora a bit more, which is something they did a little bit more in the second film, which is something I did appreciate about that one. But I think this movie goes even further with that as well. I also really did like Neytiri's character arc in this movie, still grieving over the death of one of her sons in the previous movie, which I'm just going to be honest now, I completely forgot that happened. That's how forgettable these movies are to me. I watched that opening scene and I was like, oh yeah, you died. I forgot about that. But you can see her personality change, and she's a lot more hostile. And I just really like what they did with her character in this movie. It gave her a lot more depth. And I did appreciate that there's more inner conflict between the Na'vi, especially now that they're mingling with the water Na'vi now as well. How there's like this political tension between them. I just thought, again, it was nice to expand the world and the characters like that. But my favourite character was Spider, and he was one of the best parts of Way of Water for me. And I think he was a lot better in this movie, trying to be like the Na'vi, trying to distance himself from his father. I just think he's a really likeable character. The actor playing him brings so much personality. So if they carry on with him and he's like one of the main characters in the future films, I'm honestly down for that because I really do enjoy him. However, one thing that James Cameron loves to do with these movies and its narrative is just pause the story to showcase the special effects. And as I've said many times, the special effects look beautiful. This is a beautiful movie to look at. But can we keep going with the story, please? Because you could easily cut out another half an hour, 45 minutes of this movie, and it'd flow so much better. These movies do not need to be over 3 hours long. They really don't. There are certain parts of this movie which are a chore to get through. I also was a bit let down by the third act because it's basically the exact same third act as Way of Water. They fight the military in the ocean. Then there's personal endings to some conflicts. And it's like, this is Way of Water again. Why are we rehashing it? So this movie does still have some issues narratively. But overall, despite the issues, I did still have a really good time with Avatar Fire and Ash. I actually liked some of the characters this time. I liked some of the character arcs. It's still visually gorgeous, the music's great, don't know what's up with the frame rate, and for the most part the acting is really, really strong. And I did not expect to be saying that. I thought this movie was going to be mediocre, but I enjoyed it, thankfully. So Avatar Fire and Ash is easily my favourite Avatar movie, and if you like the Avatar movies, I think you'll have a good time with this one as well. So Avatar Fire and Ash is going to receive a 7 out of 10. And people, that is the end of this review. If you have seen Avatar Fire and Ash, do let me know your thoughts on it. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day, and see you later.